Welcome back, hockey fans, to another episode of Lightin the Lamp. I'm your host, Dola, and with me, as always, is my co-host from the East Coast, JG. How's it going, pal?
Good. How are you, brother?
Dude, just work and life draining the soul out of me. Haven't had a moment running around, ripped to the liquor store, ripped home, and now on with you. But finally feeling a little bit more settled now that we're on Lightin the Lamp, and I can crack a beer here, have a little bit of hockey on in the background, and just get ready to talk some Rangers hockey. Because fans, I am watching Toronto Edmonton right now. I am getting into the Canadian teams just a little bit here. Been big fan of Toronto all season, and Edmonton, and watching Connor McJesus has just been legendary. It's been legendary.
So is Austin fucking Matthews.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, just that matchup in itself is just great. It's great hockey. I couldn't turn it off. So I mean, 1-0 here, Toronto against Edmonton, but it should be still a great matchup. McDavid's just looking determined right now, and I mean, 40 points in like 3 games or 25 games. I mean, something ridiculous, man. He is just absolutely on fire in a different way. So, what are you watching over there?
Me, I'm watching the Boston-Washington game here, 0-0. A little bit of a boring game. Pace picked up in the second period, but it's what's on NBC. It's what I threw on. Figured it'd be a little bit of a barn burner, and pretty good fucking hockey game. Couple of good defensive squads here, 0-0. 3 minutes left in the second, so seeing a little bit of everything.
Our boy Jimmy Vesey scored the goal here in the Toronto game, so good to see him still excelling this year. I got to say, him and JVR have just been absolutely ripping it up and in their respective roles on their squads, But before we get into some Rangers hockey, oh yeah, he's fitting in real well. But before we get into all this Rangers hockey, and we have a lot to talk about today, I'm gonna light this lamp. I'm gonna crush a boot here for us. I haven't done it in a minute here. We're going to get back into some old traditions and get into it here for the fans. So,
hey-o, let's see it, buddy. Wow, guy takes it down like a toilet flush. Just unbelievable.
Feeling good, I broke out the Kreider jersey, and let's get into the Rangers now that I have buried a boot here, fans. Have the Kreider jersey on, and can you say I'm feeling like Captain Kreider's making his name for the title? I think he might have to be ascended to the throne. JG, coming off a hot take, what do you feel?
Wow, guy is on fire, and I'm very happy about it because I do love the guy. I do love him. He's been a favorite of mine. I did like the contract early in the year. I was a lot of people told me I was crazy. I really thought he's the type of guy, gym rat, always working on his game, always not one that I've heard from anywhere in the league to be partying every night or anything like that. Seems like he's a student of the game, a captain, and I'm happy to see him just finding the net. And you see it like the other night against Buffalo. He steps inside the zone, he's fine. He's using his speed, and he snaps one on net. Defenseman is a screen, and it goes top corner. And he's just like, how'd that go in? But maybe if he did a little more of that, you'd see these 30-goal seasons from him. Because, I mean, let's be honest, with that straight-line speed, it's hard for anybody to stop him. Like he shot in stride. Goalie couldn't see the puck, and it went top corner. He could do a lot more of that, I think. I think he's underestimating himself. And I think you saw a little bit of that in his face after he scored the other night.
I mean, I'll steal this line from Steve Valiquette, but how many times has Ovechkin shrieked down the wall? The defenseman gives him a little too respect, backs up, and he shoots through him. Goalie never sees it, right? I mean, between that goal and the goal from the top of the circles, it's basically 75% of all of Ovechkin's goals. But, I mean, really love it. I mean, I think Kreider was confused because that was the first goal he scored outside of the blue paint. I mean, the guy had a hat trick from right outside the freaking goal square.
No, I mean, but he was confused. He was confused. But I mean, again, like that confusion, like to me, it's like, hey, pal, maybe you got to realize how fast you are. And that straight line speed, you gain respect from the defenseman. They're a little afraid to take a step at you because you're going to blow by him if they miss. And now you create that space, and now you have the defenseman as a screen. And with his speed, there's no reason he shouldn't be able to have an opportunity like that 2 or 3 times a game. I mean, that was a great play.
I think, I think in a sense, McDavid is a once in a lifetime. 1 year in the NHL, next year they gave him the C. I think that's tough to do, but I think we can model a little bit after like the Avalanche, where Gabriel Landeskog got the C and McKinnon gets an A, right? Where we can give maybe Laffy some time to build into a leader on this team as well. Maybe get an assistant captain, maybe down the road here in 2-3 years. But then have Captain Kreider's leading the ship for the next 7 years at least. I don't know.
Talk about Laffy for a second here. Let's talk about Laffy. Right place, right time the other night. Scores one he's inside the paint. He's on the goal line. Puck gets shot off him and into the net. And let's be honest, that's how a guy like him is going to break out. He's not gonna dangle 5 guys, go between the legs, and then go top corner. And now here we are. We're hot. We're on fire. We're scoring 30 goals. He's going to have to do it dirty. He's getting an assist here and there. He's got 3-game point streak. He's got 4 points in his last 5 games. 2 goals, 2 assists. And I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a little more poise, a little more patience with the puck, a little more battle in the corners, a little less afraid to get hit. But you could tell almost like a Hughes situation like last year. The frame is a little weak. There's times he goes to the corner and he gets pushed right off of it. And, he's got to develop. He's got to develop, but I think we got to keep giving him a chance. And honestly, as much as we miss Panarin, I think him being in the top 6 is going to help him get to where he needs to be and what we're expecting him to be.
Not to mention, going back to his assist, to Ryan Strome was an absolute beauty. That was an absolute incredible pass all across from one side of the rink to the other in the offensive zone, catching Strome streaking, and Strome right off the forehand throws that just right by Tuukka. I thought that was beautiful. I mean, he has great vision. You see him when he has the puck, he finds the open man. He doesn't panic at really as much. I could see soon enough he might have that Adam Fox sense in him where he's just going to find the time when the game slows down to a pace where he's going to be moving faster than the game. And I'm really excited to see that moment. He's starting to play like that, but I said it to you multiple times. He's got to get heavier. He's got to get 20 pounds heavier in the offseason. And
you see the difference. You see the difference with Jack Hughes this year. I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
He's almost a point-a-game guy, but even I saw an interview of him maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it was a Zoom call. His shoulders, I mean, he looks like he grew into a little bit of a man compared to what he was last year when he came into the league. So hopefully Lafreniere can take a page out of his book and put some bulk on. But I mean, you're seeing him make some pretty epic plays. I mean, he does some pretty impressive things. Even without the frame being NHL ready, he's doing some pretty impressive stuff. And if he keeps playing in the top 6, I don't see why he can't continue to produce at the clip he's producing at. He's shown that he can put points on the board night in and night out.
And like you said, the goal he scored was right place, right time. That comes from hockey intelligence. That doesn't come from anything else, right? The play developed. He knew to go to the net. He saw Buchnevich looking for a shot, and he was looking for a rebounder, just, again, looking for a tip, just like what happened right off the inside of the leg there. So making the right plays. Love what we're seeing from the boy. Glad that we could get the monkey off his back. And talking about that, you definitely saw the clip of Buchnevich taking the monkey off Mika Zibanejad's back after that empty netter, and he's able to settle down just a little bit here because he's now on a point-a-game streak for at least 3 games. So happy to see that out of Mika, getting a couple assists. Had a beautiful streaking pass to Buchnevich.
Oh, my God, man. That's exactly what I just – you took the words out of my mouth. It's exactly what I just wanted to say. I mean, just an incredible – just a rope right to the middle of the tape. I mean, it doesn't get any more perfect than that. And let's be honest, the play that was made to get him the puck was the nice play. I mean,
Fox? Yeah.
I mean, the play that was made to get Zibanejad the puck was the nice play. But let's be honest, man, that pass was a rope. That was a rope.
He's starting to feel it.
He showed it the other night. He made a few moves on the blue line that he's been skeptical of making the last couple of weeks. He made a dangle or 2 on the blue, got around the guy, made a nice pass. He's starting to show a little bit of but I mean, God, what a disappointment the beginning of the season has been. He's really got to pick it up here for us. We need to see that 2 and 3 point a night Zibanejad again.
I mean, now we're going to get into maybe a little bit of conflict here because we're talking about Laffy coming on. We're talking about Kreider coming on. We're talking about Zibanejad coming on. And this is all happening while Artemi Panarin, who we have not talked about yet on this show, has been basically dealing with a political hit piece, apparently what it's seeming like it's coming out to be from Russia. And the boy seems to be needing to clean up some personal things and handle some stuff on the back end before coming back to the Rangers. But on the good side, the Rangers veterans and Zibanejad and Kreider are scoring goals. I mean, picking up a win against Philly, picking up a win against Boston, picking up a must win against Buffalo. I mean, dude, it's finally seeming like, I'm finally starting to see us competing in every game, skating fast, being part of the play. Even in the Philly loss and the Boston loss, I wasn't like pissed off about how they were playing. You know what I mean? In the early games in the season, it was like we were watching an AHL team, like we were watching the Wolfpack try to compete in the NHL almost a little bit. But now it just seems like the boys have their footing. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a resurgence.
I think you're a little bit ahead of yourself there. I thought, to be honest, we got outplayed by Buffalo the other night. I thought the Bruins game was going to be the turnaround, and then you come out and you lay an egg on Sunday. I mean, it was a mediocre game. I don't think they necessarily needed to lose 4-1. I thought they played all right. I didn't think the Bruins played great either. Didn't think the bounces went the Rangers' way, but I don't know, man. I think they look okay. I wouldn't call this resurgent at all. I mean, you're still missing Trouba. Ketel's back one game the other night. He looked okay.
He looked good.
He looked good, but you're very, 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 very optimistic. You gotta, it is what it is. It is what it is right now. I'm happy to be 8. Hold on. I'm happy to be 8, 9, and 3 at this current moment. You've had Keandre Miller out numerous times. You've had Kakko out numerous times. Now you got Panarin out for a long period. You got Trouba out. We've had a lot of injuries. I'm not saying the Rangers aren't going to be what you're all hyped about right now. I don't disagree with you. But at the current stage we're in, we're missing key pieces. And I just don't think we're playing that great. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're watching something I'm not, but I listened to about 10 hockey podcasts at work today, really bored. The hockey writers, Ray Farrar and Darren Schreger, John Scott, and boy, you and me are tooting the fucking horn and no one else is, boy. A lot of nasty things were said about the Rangers. I wouldn't say nasty. I mean, they're talking about how good the pieces are and everything else, but not agreeing with your front is what I was listening to today. And I'm happy that we're getting by the way we are at this current moment. So I will say I'm on your train. I think we're picking up the pieces. We're getting better day by day. I don't think that we are resurgent just yet, but listen, we're winning some games. We're getting some points. We have some pieces coming back, and I think we can get to that point. I just don't think right this second we're at that point.
Yeah, but would you rather be the New York Rangers, or would you rather be Buffalo, who has all their pieces and can't figure shit out? Or would you rather be the Devils, who, again, they were out for a bit, but they have all their pieces, and they've had they've had more first-round picks than the Rangers at higher clips for how many more years, and they're not even figuring it the fuck out. I mean, at the same time, man, like, we don't even have our pieces in place, and our best point scorer is out, and we're winning games, and we won a game.
I'm happy. So, don't get me wrong. Listen, I'm not trying to be a pessimistic Ranger fan. I'm just trying to I'm trying to damper the expectations just a little bit.
Bro, you were the one tooting the horn because I was the one saying, like, hey, man, we have never won a game with Artemi Panarin out. And you were like, dude, we're betting the Rangers. And it's like, fine, I'm going to bet the Rangers with you because I'm on the train.
You know me. If I'm in the house, I'm betting the Rangers. Listen, a couple of years ago for my bachelor party, after we were in good old Costa Rica, what a squad, 14 degenerates in a hell of a country. But I got to go 2 weeks later to the Rangers versus Nashville in Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. What a great atmosphere. fans abused us, but it was fucking. You know what? I respect it because when they come to the Garden, we do the same. So you got to take it. But we went out, and I think we were plus 250. Nashville was on a tear. They were at that time one of the best teams in the league. About 3 years ago, they were just coming off a cup appearance against Pittsburgh, and I look at the boys. I'm with 4 guys, and I'm like, listen, guys, $100 a guy gets us 1,000. And the boys rallied. We were whacked, and the boys decided to put $200 a guy together. And the Rangers came back, and they won 4-3. Kreider with the game winner in the third period. Dinged one off the post. Probably the only other time he ever scored from not inside the blue paint. But the boys won a couple of grand, to say the least, off that bet. So you know me, if I'm in the house and the Rangers are on the board, I'm betting the Rangers. They're my team. I like to stick behind them. I mean, it worked out the other night, but I just think there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of pieces that we just need to come back and get healthy.
I mean, still though, I mean, I think there's a lot of good happening in the meantime. And like, even beyond that, like we can go beyond that because we have a lot happening. And you might not say Hedl had an okay game, dude. Hedl coming back after one game.
He flew around for sure. He flew around for sure, but let's see if he can keep the pace for the next couple.
Dude, I got a Hedl hard on like I do for Blackwell. I'm telling you right now. I love those two players. Okay. Just like, dude, this is like me.
You know who I like? You know who I like? You want to know who I like? And I have an affinity for guys that don't play a lot. Johnny fucking Brodzinski.
Oh, with a goal, with the netted one, dude. Little hard player, yeah.
He is a hard-working little fucking player, dude. I like him. He's speedy. He's chippy. He's always in front of the cage. And not to mention, I got to see him the other night. He's got some mitts on him. He's got some hands on him. He got a few good shots off in tight spaces. Like, he's young, isn't he?
I don't know much about him.
I gotta look him up.
Yeah,
I got excited about him the other night.
So I mean, you have that in the hopper in terms of. I also like that the fact that maybe Capo's out right now. We're giving Lafreniere the time. Panarin's out. He's getting the minutes he needs without us really sparing our other superstars. Without us sparing Panarin. Without us sparing Capo's time on the ice. We're giving Laffy the minutes he needs, which I enjoy at this time. I mean, having Keandre back is huge. But, dude, I mean, again, on the horizon, and I don't know if he's going to be part of the Eichel trade or of any trade coming down the pipes. Wait, who? Kreider, who scored a goal in the Tractor win today in their playoff series because playoffs started in the Russian league. So it's time
for him to go up.
Dude, once playoffs ends, his contract's up and we can get him back.
I'd like to see him before I moved him, to be honest, man, because let's be honest, he may be – I don't want to say this because, I mean, obviously Kakko is a second overall pick. He very well may be better than fucking Capo Kakko, and you might move him, and then you might just be looking at yourself 2-3 years from now like, God fucking damn it, we never gave this kid a chance. We never let him fucking play. And, we had this second overall pick. We gave him every opportunity, and it didn't pan out. And now Kippersoff is on Buffalo, and he's got 50 and 50 with 100 points for the season. And you're like, God fucking damn it. Like, he's putting up points at a crazy pace in that league. Before he got hurt early in the season, he had more than a point a game in the K.
Dude,
which is unheard of.
When was Kippersoff drafted?
It's a very good question. I can pull that up for you right now. Capril, Kip.
When was this kid drafted? Because, listen, everyone's talking about him. 2015. This guy is a rookie this year, and everyone's like, oh, wow.
He's a 97 birth year. I mean, he's young. He's 23. He's
23, dude.
Yeah, but Panarin came into the league at like 25, and everybody went crazy about Panarin too.
No, I agree, but like again, think of the difference between Kreider and Kakko, where Kakko came right into the league, where Panarin, where Lafreniere came right into the league. I mean,
Kreider
has had a couple years.
He's had a couple years. He should be on the team.
Dude, 1,000%.
If we were gonna be the team this year, that was like, hey, we're going to play all the young guns and Lafreniere and Kako and Hedel, and then why not bring Kravtsov up? I mean, if we were going to make this an experiment, 56-game season anyway, you should have begged, pleaded, and paid Tractor and brought Kravtsov in, and let's see what the fuck we got here. Let's see what we got. He was a 9th overall pick, and we still haven't seen him. I want to see him. The kid's got skill.
The kid did incredible this year in the K, and at the same time, I'm excited about him, but I am excited that he was at least a draft pick that got to develop without the scrutiny, right? Like, we're gonna actually get to see him after he's done a couple years.
He kind of quit, if you don't remember, dude. He kind of was like, I need to leave and go back to Russia. Like, he couldn't handle the scrutiny, and he decided to go on his own path. But he was here and couldn't handle it at first. Now he's had a couple of years. He's matured. He's about 20, whatever. He's 21 now. He's having a tear. He's tearing it up. But that's what some of these Russian guys, like, to be honest, they're not good unless they do that. Like a guy like Panarin, he obviously needed to go that path to be the player he is today. You know what I mean? So you can't shoot a guy down for doing it, but he was kind of a little bit of a bitch about it. He didn't like that he got sent to the AHL. Then he wanted off the AHL team. It was a little bit of a saga, if you don't remember.
It wasn't as bad as Nils Lundqvist, or not Nils Lundqvist.
No.
Lias Anderson.
And what an asshole. What an asshole. And he'll end up scoring 30 goals wherever he is now. Where is he, in L.A.?
Yeah, he's on the Kings. Yeah. But
Rangers will play them in the Cup, and he'll have fucking 7 goals in 7 games.
But dude, they just the Rangers also just called up the defenseman Tarmo Rarmanen. I think that's how you say his name.
Tarmo Rarmanen? When did they call him up where? From Hartford?
To the taxi squad now. Yeah, so he's now on our
they're saying him and Nils Lundqvist are like the fucking bee's knees. Like we need these guys. Like, they're the best. Like, apparently everybody's going crazy about Nils Lundqvist, but let's be honest here. Let's get into a little bit of this since we did just play Buffalo. What do you think? I mean, we spoke about this, I don't know, 7 or 8 episodes ago now. A potential Kreider to the Rangers trade before the season started. It was spoken about. But I'm not Kreider. I'm sorry, Eichel, the Boston boys. But, I don't know if I want it or not. I do. I love Jack Eichel. But, I mean, let's be honest. You're watching him have a 2-goal season. I mean, the tides are going to change. It's Jack Eichel. He's a stud. He's a 70, 80-point guy all day.
$10 million contract.
Let's be honest. Yeah, but the contract doesn't scare me because he doesn't have much time left, does he?
Yeah. They just re-signed him.
Yeah, but what was it, 7 years? I mean, let's be honest. He's young. He's 23 years old. That's shit. It's a small contract. And with the way the cap is going to go once Corona, I mean, obviously we don't know when Corona is going away, but now that it's starting to reopen, once you're at full capacity again here, that contract isn't going to mean shit because the NHL is thriving. The caps are going to go up over the next 3 to 4 years at some point or another. You know what I mean? The contract doesn't scare me, especially because of his age. What scares me is what you're going to have to give away. I mean, there's no way you're getting away with giving away less than either Nils Lundqvist, a first-round draft pick, and Kako, Philip Hedel. There's going to be a top 3 or 4 prospect in the organization, a first-rounder, and a high-end young player going the other way. It's the bottom line. A high-end young NHL roster player going the other way. Otherwise, they don't trade him. That's it. Otherwise, you don't get him.
I'm interested because, I always speculate about this, and I don't know if I become biased just because sometimes we watch other sports and, maybe it comes into it where in football and basketball, they basically send the entire organization's life capital for a single player. But dude, in hockey, they don't get really good draft picks back for what they are. There is no precedent in hockey for really selling the farm for a single player. It doesn't really happen like that.
But it's not selling the farm. But if for Buffalo asking for a first-round pick, which is the Rangers at right
reasonable.
now are a middle of the pack team. So let's be honest, it's not going to be a world beating. It's not going to be a world beating pick. So for the first round pick is a toss up. It's just like hey, throw that in just so we see what we get. Maybe we get a stud out of it. Maybe we get nothing. We need the first. So now you're basically saying that's a gamble, and both sides know that the pick is a gamble. So if you're Buffalo, on top of that gamble, you need some reassurance. And that reassurance is going to come in a high-end prospect and a high-end young roster player. It's going to be Lafreniere's not going anywhere. We know that. Kakko is technically untouchable. But do you want to get rid of Hedl? It's like you're going to have to pick between the three if you want to make the move, because unless one of them go the other way, it's not happening. And that's not selling the farm. It's not like when the Knicks went and got Carmelo Anthony and they gave away every piece that they had for the next 5 years. They sent it to fucking Denver, and Denver ended up being a good team. They went to the conference final. They went to 2 or 3 second rounds in a row, and they took all the Knicks' little pieces, and they moved along for 5 years with those little pieces, and the Knicks had Carmelo Anthony, and they stunk. They were fucking horrible. And that's not going to happen to New York because the Rangers, 1-0 Boston, Pasternak. That's not going to happen to the Rangers because, let's be honest, you're only, like we said, you're giving up one young roster player, one draft pick, and one prospect. We have 5 young roster players. If we get rid of one of the guys that's on the roster right now, Kippersoff could potentially fill that spot. If we get rid of Kippersoff, he's technically a young roster player because he's NHL ready. He's tearing it up in the KHL. But one of those pieces is going the other way. Kippersoff, Kakko, one of those guys has to go the other way. And that's the only way we're going to get Jack Eichel. And for me, I feel like we've done such a good job, and maybe that's why I'm not a GM, because I want to use my pieces and put them into my lineup and win with my pieces. But let's be honest, the reason we overcompensated and got all of these extra draft picks and pieces was so we can make a move like this and still have stuff in the pool. I mean, we're not mortgaging anything if we get rid of a Hedl. As much as it hurts to get rid of Hedl, if you get rid of Hedl, a first rounder, and a Nils Lundqvist, does it really hurt that bad with the prospect pool you have and the young players you already have on the roster?
As long as it's not Keandre Miller.
But Keandre Miller's untouchable. I'm going to tell you right now, I would have to tell you the untouchables on the roster are Lafreniere, Keandre Miller. As far as young roster players, have to go the other way.
Dude, can you believe that actually you should look up at all the shit that we got out of the Rick Nash trade, because Keandre Miller was one of the pieces that were basically out of the family tree of that trade, because we ended up getting a draft pick from Boston that we paired to move down into a pick.
And we got
Ryan Lindgren. So we got Ryan Lindgren and Keandre Miller out of the Rick Nash deal. Beautiful.
And
I love it.
For me, Ryan Lindgren is probably your next. I wouldn't like Girardi is like a poor man's Ryan Lindgren. Like Dan
Dude,
Girardi.
I think Jimmy Vasey just scored a second goal tonight. Just absolutely en fuego. Unbelievable. This kid finally is hitting his stride. Good for him. I'm glad, because I mean he got a shot in New York, and you know what? Unfortunately, it wasn't that.
How are you watching? Do you have the package?
Oh, yeah, of course I do. But it's not that it didn't work out. Again, we always we have these kids when they're fresh. They're young. They're so young. They haven't put enough meat on their bones. This kid is now a man. He plays like a man. It's just like, unfortunately, in the NHL, 3 years, dude. You need 3 years after your draft year to finally fucking let them balls drop to where you're just playing manly freaking hockey. Some guys develop earlier. Not everyone could be Victor Hedman and Carlson that could be 6'5" monstrosities. Keandre Miller, 6'5", 220. Obviously makes the transition into the NHL just a little bit easier when no one can literally just throw you around.
Keandre is got to be – I said it early in the season when you weren't sold just too early. You're like, I don't know. Early on when you were being a little bit of a pessimist about the Rangers, you didn't think he was playing too good. And I thought I told a lot of people that didn't think he was playing too good, you know what? He's not making many mistakes. He's not showing a lot. But he doesn't make a mistake. He's quiet. He's very quiet. There's games you don't hear his name at all, but he just doesn't make a mistake. He's solid. And I would have to say,
We're gonna have to check the tape on that. We're gonna have to check the tape.
Was
it
you?
Negativity.
Maybe
I don't think it was me.
Maybe it wasn't you, but somebody.
We have all the episodes to prove it, but we'll have to check.
Listen, you could be very right. But I spoke to somebody early in the season after one of our episodes that told, maybe it wasn't you, that told me, hey, I don't know about Keandre Miller. You were singing his praises the other night, blah, blah, blah. I haven't seen much. And I'm like, just chill because he's not making any mistakes. Like, he's so poised with the puck. Like, he's quiet. Now he's producing. Look at the Rangers' defense production-wise. You have 8 assists from Ryan Lindgren, 9 assists. You got Adam Fox with 11 assists. You got Keandre Miller's got goals and assists. I mean, we're getting production out of the blue line in New York.
Without Trouba, by the way. Again,
you said we need Trouba. Let's be honest. I would like to have him back just because of the name, but at some point or another, he's got to step it up. By the way, what do you think about these horrific Golden Knights fucking bright gold buckets?
They're absolutely brutal. They're disgusting.
They're horrible.
Dude, honestly, they're better than the Henderson Knights. It's like a silver chrome.
There's something. Wait, hold on. You're talking shit right now.
Absolutely brutal.
And I played. So they're in the North American League now, but at the time they were in the Atlantic Junior League. I played for the Wilkes-Barre
Henderson Knights.
No, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. Wilkes-Barre Scranton is like over where the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are.
Yeah, it's Pennsylvania. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's where the Pittsburgh Penguins AHL affiliate is. They play out of the same town. Right. So I played for that junior team, and when we came in, they gave us chrome Cascade buckets. You know what I did? I took my red 4500. I went to Home Depot. I bought a piece of sandpaper. I sanded that motherfucker down. Beautiful. There wasn't a fucking speckle in the bucket. I spray painted it silver, and I put a fucking clear coat over it. A clear coat of spray paint right over it. That's what I wore. I showed up to the next game. My coach goes, "Where's your Cascade?" I go, "Coach, you want me to play? I'm not wearing that fucking thing. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it." And he's like, "Whatever. You have a silver helmet. Get on the ice." And that was it. Coach DePalma. May I say, my tenure only lasted 24 games there. I got traded because, that was a bad start to my first tournament. Just coming out, 25 guys all wearing the same helmet. And, one of the 25 rocking a 4,500 Nike Bauer comes out, tosses mitts first shift, breaks his fucking hand on a tooth. Like just a bad first impression. Just a bad first impression for the boys. But the guys on the team loved me for the most part, so it was worth it. But
I think they're disgusting. I think they're over the top, not needed. Again, just like all these advertisements, like I even hate sometimes when NBC does the digital ads on the ice. It's like, how much more shit do you want to shove onto the ice? Like, please, come on, guys. Like, this is not the European League. Like, I don't know what you're trying to pull. But, like, we got to find a better way to market than this. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's ridiculous. And I can't, look, now the Rangers got Chase on their fucking helmet. Boston's got TD Bank on their helmet. Next it's going to be on the jerseys. I
will never buy a jersey again if you do that. I will never.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch if it looks like I'm playing in Sweden.
Bro, they need
I know
to
right
find
now
another marketing strategy.
But you know what? You can't blame them. If it's only a sticker on the helmet for now and it's a pump of the tires and it's helping them out, it is a tough time in the NHL. You know what I mean? Look, this sweatshirt the other night, the lady tells me, "It's on sale, sweetheart." I go, "How much?" She goes, $90. I said, "Damn. The Garden must be in trouble, boy." And she just looked at me and laughed. And I'm like, this is, in any other case, Garden being expensive and all, a $70 sweatshirt at the Garden. Like, you're charging me $90 on sale. So what was the price before the sale?
Also, this is the first day back. Since when is there a sale? There was no availability.
And this is I've never seen this hoodie in the Garden, and I've been to the Garden many a time. So this is a new.
But now it's on sale. It's on sale.
It's on sale though. It's on sale for $90. For 90. It's not 100 anymore. It's 90. I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Actually, before the fans were let in, I negotiated with management to drop this down from 180 to 90. They were going to charge you 180, but now
they probably were going to charge every bit of 130, 140. I could imagine. I mean, don't get me wrong. The patch on this motherfucker is ridiculous. I mean, it's 2 inches thick, sewed on. It's got a fuzzy rug on it. I mean, it's legit. But I mean, this sweatshirt couldn't cost maybe more than $35 to make.
No, absolutely not, dude. They made that for, absolutely, maybe 20, 25 for sure.
If they sell 100 of these things a night when the fucking garden's packed, you do the math on that.
I mean,
that's a paycheck. That's a paycheck for fucking Artemi Panarin on a Thursday night at the Garden.
Well, we got to find ways to afford them. Find a way to afford all these new players. But unfortunately, unlike other places, the Garden has New York Rangers fans. Not every team is so lucky to have fans to buy the $90 sweatshirts like you, JG.
Listen, I'm just a diehard Ranger fan. I knew I was getting on for the fans with a little live action inside MSG. Which, by the way, we haven't even touched on that. That episode was fucking epic. It came out really good. Got to be a part of a goal while I was on the phone with you there, so you got to see the live reaction of what I was buzzing a little bit there, chugging some tall boys while we were going at it. But it was a hell of a night in Madison Square Garden, to say the least. I'm thinking you guys might be seeing me maybe last minute tomorrow night if my haircut is done in time. I might just squeak my way into the Rock for a Rangers-Devils game. So there's some potential there. We'll see what happens if I can make the time. Maybe we'll do a little something while I'm up inside the Rock. But great episode. A lot of Rangers talk we got to catch up on there. And anything else before we get away here, bud?
No, I was actually just trying to check the channel real quick, see how many views we got on that video. Okay, only 17 views. Wish we got a little bit more out of that, a little more action out of the fan group. And stuff.
Honestly, we're
gonna have to promote some stuff on Instagram and send some flyers out because that was definitely an epic moment.
And I actually had, of those 17 views, was a few of my family members. One being my father-in-law, and he literally texted me the next morning, and he was like, "Dude, that episode was fucking epic." He was like, "That was awesome." He was like, "You need to do more episodes like that." And I'm like, "All right, well, obviously we got a good reaction out of that, so I'm going to try to get to a couple more games here this season and try to spice it up a little bit for the fans."
Well, we'll definitely try to keep it moving. I mean,
you're a little ways away, obviously. So I said you're a little way away, obviously. So it's a little easier for me to try and get up there in the stadium and make something happen. But obviously, maybe for obviously the beginning of next season, we'll try and set something up where you fly in and we do a Lightin the Lamp meets the Garden kind of thing, and we'll bring somebody with us. Let them do a little bit of filming.
Well, we'll do a bunch of stuff, especially we want to get out to Vegas, do some other things. But, I mean, we'll keep growing. I mean, the big thing, after a while was, we got on the Spotify, we got on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on basically every podcast. I'm pretty sure you can reach us anywhere just because our RSS feed is available. Again, please like, share, follow if you hear us, fans. We definitely want to hear more things like that. Get some feedback from you, what you like, what you don't like, what you want us to add in, and just help us grow. Help us grow the Lightin the Lamp fan base. We don't want to have 17 views of JG going absolutely insane inside MSG in the first game back where Ranger fans are allowed inside the Garden. I mean, we were making it happen as a podcast, being the first fan group in there and sending JG as a inside infiltrator into a massive win for the Rangers against the Bruins. So, I mean, we're trying our best, doing our best, but it's definitely let us know what we can do, and we'll try to make it happen for you. So, I mean, we'll be expanding, doing more games, doing more live feeds. But, again, we appreciate you tuning in, and JJ, always a pleasure getting on with you.
Always a pleasure, pal.